opinionated science educator. I'd like to welcome my teaching life science students back to the second episode of this little insert on the integration of ITC in the teaching and learning of life science. And if there are any other pre-service teachers who are watching this video who are not at the Wits School of Education, welcome. If you haven't yet subscribed, there's the subscribe button, so please subscribe to my channel. So these videos are just an extension of what I've done in class. This extension is just to provide additional information and resources for pre-service teachers about the integration of ITC in the classroom. Exactly is South Africa in terms of the use of ICT for learning and teaching? I will also share some information with you from the Parliamentary Monitoring Group related to the implementation of ICT in the classroom. I will start with a report that was written in 2007, and it was a survey of ICT and education in Africa. So it provided a country report for each country in Africa. ICT in education in South Africa, written by Shafika Isaacs. Now, South Africa boasts more than a decade of accumulated experience from its wide range of projects and programs with ITC. It has been pioneered by noteworthy champions across stakeholder spectrums of communities, the private sector, civil society, donor, development, and government agencies. The scale of all these interventions to date has led to at least 22% computer penetration in all public schools. Now, South Africa has a policy on e-education, but only for the schools and further education and training, or the FET college sectors. But there is at the moment animated debate on the optimal ways to implement the policy. Over the coming period, with South Africa acting as the host for the 2010 World Cup and the national government embarking on an accelerated economic growth strategy, the race is on to move to broadband and to promote ubiquitous ITC. Now, that is history. It's 10 years later. So this survey showed at the time that South Africa had major challenges to overcome. There was a lack of a comprehensive policy on ICTs in education that covered all sectors. There was a lack of leadership and coordination of the various initiatives to promote optimal usage of technologies. And we also need to demonstrate the value of this investment through improved performance of learners and improved employability in the changing labor market. So, South Africa's infrastructure when the report was written. According to the World Economic Forum Global Information Technology Report, South Africa has the most modern and best developed telephone system in Africa. South Africa also has a vibrant ICT sector with an annual investment of almost $10 billion US dollars. The report uses the Networked Readiness Index, and it covers a total of 115 economies from 2005 and 6 to measure the degree of preparation for a nation or community to participate and benefit from ICT developments. Now, according to this report, South Africa is ranked 37 out of the 115 economies. So that's quite a good placement. Yet most of South Africa's infrastructure is poorly linked and it's spread unevenly throughout the country, and that is problematic. So in terms of policy implementation, the report showed that South Africa needed to implement the e-education white paper, but it rests with the provincial departments of education. Some provinces have introduced province-wide programs on ICT integration in their schools, even before the adoption of the white paper, and are currently well underway to implementing the goals of the policy. Other provinces, however, are just getting started. There you can see a table showing the policy implementation, total number of schools, the percentage of schools with computers that would be used for marks and administration, and there's the percentage of computers used for teaching and learning. Eastern Cape has the lowest at 7.8, and Northern Cape is the highest. Gauteng is the highest with 78.8% of computers being used for teaching and learning. So, current ICT initiatives and projects in schools. As I said, South Africa has a host of dispersed and uncoordinated programs and projects that promote education through the use of ICTs at various levels of the education system, but in the formal school sector particularly. A study by SchoolNet South Africa in 2002 showed that there were 34 different programs and projects in the school sector. Some of the individual government departments of education even have their own provincial strategies, such as Gauteng. In 2016, a meeting was held on the provision of ICT in schools between the Department of Basic Education and the Department of Telecommunications and Postal Services. This was a Parliamentary Monitoring Group, and it was held on the 1st of March 2016. The following comes from the meeting summary. The Department of Telecommunications and Postal Services met jointly with the Department of Basic Education, regarding the provision of ICT, connectivity in all schools through South Africa. The meeting also involved stakeholders, including the Independent Communication Authority of South Africa and the Universal Service of Access Agency of South Africa. Other representatives from education and communication were also at the meeting. At this meeting, they discussed the following issues. Firstly, they wanted it clearly defined what was meant by connectivity, and not just the computers lying idle. They also wanted it noted that ICT was not the solution to the problems, but a means to find a suitable solution. There was a strong focus on the training of teachers, as this was very crucial for the implementation process and success of incorporating ICTs in schools. And teacher training aimed to focus on advancing the abilities, skills, and capacity of the teachers in order for them to be able to deliver accordingly and enhance their teaching, thus adequately being able to deliver the knowledge appropriate in equipping students' learning and performance. This also ensured that teachers were able to deliver quality teaching to their learners. There was a focus on rural schools and schools with special needs, as many of these had been previously excluded in previous attempts at connectivity. And there would be a 20 gig cap on internet usage per school, and any excess would have to be paid by the schools at E-rates. A key challenge highlighted during this meeting was that the funds were insufficient, and this made it difficult to effectively carry out the rollout. The rollout plan was pro-poor, with a focus on bridging the digital divide. Learners in poor schools would be given tablets in order to enhance their learning through various models and the learners' capabilities, and learners from schools in the 4th and 5th quintiles were included in this model and process, but they had to bring their own devices to class.
Another issue that was discussed was theft and security concerns, including the role of the various stakeholders, such as the South African Police Service and parents and the community at large. I have included here some news stories from various news outlets that show how schools are becoming victims of computer theft. So this really is a big problem.
So once again, thanks for joining me and have a good day.